I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick fuck. I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick fuck. I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick fuck.
But Jack Dorsey decentralized Twitter 2 months before it really hit because he was talking to the Bitcoin guys. And these are guys that really have a perspective on what the true liberation of America and humanity will be.
BTC and 32 ETH.
Welcome back, HardForkers. 1 BTC, 32 Ethereum. You already know it. It is the best show in all of crypto. That's why you're here. Stefano, good to see you, sir.
Hello.
Johnny Gonzo.
Episode 10.
Episode 10. I know, it's flying by.
Did you guys think we'd make it?
How close are we to 1 Bitcoin or 32 Ethereum? We'll find out very, very shortly, people. Lots coming up in this show. But first, meme of the week.
Recent Uniswap listings. Gold. Gold.
Well, it's also it is kind of, the unicorn has been replaced with a hippo as well. I think we're down below $2 on Uni, so you probably don't feel so bad now having all your unicorns stolen.
$2 is still better than zero.
Well, it's less than $2. So look, coming up on this episode, people, as you know, we're a review show and also a competition show. So tonight's project, very, very interesting, is Argo token. So here's a quick look at part of that interview. The long form interview is in the show notes, so check that out if you're interested in this project. And we'll be giving our thoughts on it later in the show. So first up, here's a quick look at Argo token. We're here with Tomas from Argo token. Welcome, Tomas.
Hello. Nice to be here. Thank you. I think, look, in this DeFi token space, especially in the last few months, we've seen a lot of new projects that have beautiful website. You know, they pay you 1,000% rewards in their token, but they don't have a source of revenue. They are not charging any fees for transactions. They have zero revenue coming in. Really, the only thing that they are doing a pre-sale, raising a lot of money, and then they are using those funds for marketing to kind of get more people in. Frankly, it's a pyramid scheme. There is nothing foundational to those projects. What's different about Argo is that we are using the funding that we got from pre-sale and from additional over-the-counter sales to buy simply Bitcoin miners, which deliver revenue to us. If you go to argotoken.com, you can see how much revenue is coming in on daily, weekly basis. And that source of revenue, just like Binance has trading fees that backs the BNB token and allows them to do marketing and expand the operations, same here. We have thousands of dollars coming in every week that we can then use for marketing, for NFTs, for raffles, for buying new miners, and of course, paying our expenses, which is just electricity. So that is what's different about Argo. We are backed by miners, which are producing real dollars or Bitcoin on daily basis.
Right. So guys, interesting week. BTC on the charge, everything else going to shit. So let's have a look at how we've traded. Then we'll give you our thoughts on what's happening in this market overall. So for some reason, I always seem to go first. So we'll stick with that. I didn't actually do much, to be honest, but my trade of the week, I guess I have to call it the trade of the week, is Hex. Obviously, Richard Hart and that project have continued to kick ass. The big payday is coming up in 2 weeks, so we're going to be having a real close look at that project in the next couple of episodes as well to really try and understand what the scenarios around that are. But yep, that's my trade of the week. It's by far the biggest gainer, kicking ass. So well done, Hex, again. Looking at my wallet, A couple of nice ones there. Obviously, Axie performing again. We love that project. Hex, yep, that's gone. Great. The rest of it. So, Prime XBT. I have continued my copy trade with Lisa that we do the Monday trading show with. Overall, she's gone great guns over the last month. Unfortunately, had a small slip up yesterday on one particular trade, so I'm just down slightly there. But I'm actually going to make my very first trade myself next week, so stay tuned for that. So that's Prime XBT. So looking at, or actually of note there, I see that the top person on that platform called Number One is up 31% just today. So might have a look at doing a bit of a copy trade on that particular personal group. Okay, looking at my weekly trades, people, as I say, I didn't do much, but of interest is Ampleforth. I've held on to this for pretty much for the duration of this show. As you can see, I've actually got 9 new tokens over the week. So if you don't know about this project, when it's above $1, you get more. When it's below $1, you lose tokens. So the price is up, and I've got new tokens. Happy with Ampleforth. We'll continue to follow that and try and figure out how the hell the damn thing works. Obviously, our review project last week was trade. I'm actually going to start using this now. I've really taken the whole sort of hold attitude with pretty much everything in this portfolio. But now that there is the utility of Unitrade, where I can actually put a sell or a stop on these projects, it seems insane not to use it. It's unfortunately down 31% since we got it last week. I'm surprised by that. I really see utility in this project. I'm going to start using it, and I'm definitely not selling this thing. I really think it's got a future. And looking at the others, my trades of the week, obviously Hex that I mentioned, and unfortunately Bonk down badly. We're going to have a bit of a chat about that shortly. So look, that's what I've done this week. Stefano, over to you next. Talk us through it.
Sure. So the trade of the week, once again, second week in a row, it's Pump. And the reason behind that is that the staking reward from that pool, Pump/Bonk, has been skyrocketing for me. So last week I was averaging like 11.23 Pump a day, and now I'm well above 19. So I've crossed overall 1,000, more than 1,000 Pump in reward. So pretty good on that. Rather than that, other trades really didn't do much. The liquidity pools are still like changing things, and so like my X position is decreasing because it's increasing in value. My DMG position is increasing because it's losing values, and so on and so on. On Prime XBT, still nothing. Still holding strong on that BTC without doing anything. Which, by the way, BTC dominance is at 24% now. So that's one of those values that like are normally quite important to
Sorry, it's at what?
64%.
64, right.
Regarding anything else on the portfolios, Axie was going like pretty good during the week. Now it's back on like same value that we had last week. Axie is still performing good. Bonk obviously is the big loser this week. Nothing to say on that. But actually being on the LP is holding strong on the dollar's value, and it's increasing time by time. So I'm pretty happy overall.
Jordan, talk through how you've played it this week.
Do I have to?
Yes.
Trade of the week. I'm gonna follow Sean and use my staking as a trade and say Hex is my big winner this week, but it didn't do anything. I just staked it, so it's up, which is great. My negative trade of the week was my Prime. I got super wrecked, over leveraged, and I was in ETH and BTC at the same time, and I caught that last week down, blew up my account, so I'm down 96%, which is quite excellent.
You better hope Prime will sponsor us for another month then.
Yeah, they love me. They love me. They just keep getting it back. It's like, hey, let's keep giving that guy money. Yeah, we can get it.
You were up 600% on Prime the previous week. My God, you rolled the dice.
Let's see. I started at 0.25, and then I was up to last week was 0.13.
Yeah.
And then now I got stopped out, and I have 0.005.
So in short, you went from hero to
zero.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all
Very good. What
man,
about your weekly trades?
Weekly trades, everything's still the same. I haven't touched anything. It's all the same. Everything kind of same as Stefano, same as you, same as everything else. I think, yeah, my trade is wrecked. Link is down a little bit. It's pretty much, I feel like right now it's almost the bottom of this alt bear. Everybody's calling bear market. It's going to zero, which means the reversal's coming pretty quick. The election is almost over, and I think everybody's just kind of like treading on like, on thin ice there, expecting something to happen with, either Trump or Biden or whatever's going to happen. There still might be fireworks here in the next couple of days, depending on what happens with the election.
True. Let's have a look at the overall board of all the projects we've got and anything of note. Obviously, Hex continues to just kick ass. I think next week, guys, we'll do a bit more of a dig into likely scenarios. Interesting that I've had a lot of people as well say, "Hey, when's this thing going off a cliff?" But keeps on going up for now. Look, can you guys obviously know the Bonk project extremely well. That's been the big, somewhat of a shock. There was some news out of that project, so maybe if you could both talk us through that, Stefano. Do you want to start off what you've heard, what the news out of that project is?
Basically what happened is that they've released a second token. So
Why?
in order to,
Why?
Sealsy went a bit rogue. He, I was talking to him the day before. I was like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. He's like, oh, I'm working on some development stuff. I'm like, okay, cool, man. Went to bed, woke up, everything's down like minus 35%. I was like, what the fuck's going on? And he's been working on NFT staking, right? So he's tied this into a second token, which is called Dolphin, right? So it's quite a limited supply, and he launched it, and he didn't tell anybody because he didn't want like the whales to control it. So to do a fair launch, he just popped it, dropped it, and it freaked everybody out. Everybody's kind of, the timing was quite bad too. Talked to him, he agreed. It was like, it was a mistake. But so what happened was, it was the night of the election. He dropped it. Nobody knew what it was. And I mean, it's like scammer playbook 101, like if I didn't know the guy and I seen this happen on like a random coin, I'd be like, oh, this is a fucking exit scam, because you create a second coin, don't tell anybody, it pumps, people were like, what's going on? So the bonk holders, a couple whales got sketched out, and they unstaked and dumped.
I'm not a whale and I'm sketched out. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, and so this new token, it's total Uniswap degen, people jumping in, pumping the hell out of it as soon as it lists, and now it's just bleeding out a bit.
Yeah, look, I mean, my take on this, I'm surprised. I kind of like this community, a lot of engagement from them. He seems like a pretty straight up dude. So yeah, lack of communication there.
Like we talked about this right at the beginning after the interview, right? Week one, is that one of the weaknesses of the project was inexperience, and it's just it was a mistake, and he admitted it, and unfortunately it cost some people some money, right? I mean, if you don't sell, you don't lose, but a couple of the whales, they didn't like the development, and they just like pulled the trigger, dumped the price quite heavily.
Anyway, if you're watching, fellow, you're more than welcome to jump on, talk us through it next week.
Yeah, I actually mentioned it. He's into it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Any other? Well, sorry, Stefano. Do you have any comments on this? I think Jordan may have covered everything there. But yeah, give us your thoughts.
No, I don't think I have anything else.
Well, good. Why are you laughing then?
Okay, so but the actual token, the Dolphin token, right? You stake Bonk, and you're going to get Dolphin as liquidity rewards, right? And you're going to get NFTs. So it's the second token that it's part of the ecosystem, right? It's kind of like the little brother to Bonk, right? The seal. So you got big brother Seal and little brother Dolphin, and together they're going to work together for staking and liquidity providing rewards. So it's not a completely useless token. It just wasn't implemented properly. So
I mean,
onward and upward.
One of the thing is that like I've seen a lot of projects that trying to have like a second, in some cases even like a third tokens.
Did the same thing.
ZZZ is also another one that I've done that. And tradition, like on data wise, when there is a second token, the value goes down. Like it jeopardizes more the overall ecosystem that actually like benefit that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna like unplug the entire Dolphin things and like put it down like under the carpet and just being like it was a mistake, or if there is gonna be like future developments over there or not. But yeah, I mean, like numbers speaks for themselves. A minus 40% is a shock when it happened. We're still down like what 25% now compared overall.
It's actually down here. It's down even more than that over the month. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like overall is.
I mean, you just combine that with the market conditions as well, right? Like,
yeah,
everything is bleeding out. You know,
that's
you're
true.
seeing some.
Yeah, true.
You know,
But,
like
you know,
when
when things are shit, that's when you know, people running these things should really be even more conscious of communication.
yeah,
The community.
investors get twitchy as hell.
Yeah. So anyway, there's obviously a lot of people watching the show that maybe aren't in Bonk and probably don't want to hear us talk about it for too long. Guys, trade. Obviously, that's the one. Before we're going to get to Argo in a moment, but trade. Obviously, I'm surprised that you know, there was a bit of marketing around the staking being launched, but it still slipped quite significantly as well. I like this project, and obviously we're seeing a lot of these alts really bleed out. So the utility of actually using this thing is pretty clear to me, and I am going to start doing that. We've all obviously gone ahead and staked our holdings, which is what you do here. There's the page, and we'll put a link below.
Posited. We got 654. My ETH rewards, 87 cents, 2 weeks. It's pretty good. Doing nothing. I mean, the token price is a bit wrecked, but gaining ETH.
Yeah, you'll be able to get back into that BTC trading in about 8 years at that rate.
Yeah. Hey, don't worry, I'll come back.
Anyway, Jordan, look, I mean, we love a 600% gain and loss in the space.
Hey, look, we make a good team. We got Mr. Hodl, Stefano, and Mr. Sean. I don't know what I'm doing. And then we got DJ.
Wait. Mr. Sean, I don't know what I'm doing. Where's that coming from all of a sudden?
Well, you don't stake. You don't.
You
I
don't
have
gain
staked
NFTs,
my.
You don't gain rewards. You don't.
You stake like 3 months after the fact.
Oh, look at the descent on the panel tonight. Well, it's not even descent.
No.
I've been ganged up.
Missed on the uni drop.
They
Missed
have
on the
staked-
AXS drop.
What kind of show? What kind of show?
Pep was the only one I didn't stake, and that's because I started the show to learn about staking and how to use all these crazy projects from you two. You didn't teach me well enough.
Pump
Your
stakes
fault. It's not my
automatically.
fault. It's yours.
Pump stakes
It's never my fault.
automatically.
You know that. Moving on.
Pump stakes automatically, but
Let's talk about Argo token. We really enjoyed our chat with Tomas the other night.
Polish fellow.
Just to let the audience know, Jordan obviously was doing a bit of work with these guys and brought the project along. We had a look at it and said, nah, weren't so keen. So, you know, we let him know that before the interview, and he was very keen to answer any questions. So check out the long form interview, but here's another look at the short form, and then we're going to give our thoughts on it. So here's the second part of a look at Argo token.
There is a simple function. For every $10 that we bring in, we have to pay out $5 in electricity. Well, when Bitcoin goes to 2x, we are no longer bringing in $10. We are bringing in $20, but our electricity costs remain the same. So all of a sudden, I am no longer making 100% margin or 2x profit. I'm making 4x or 3x profit. So that is the kind of like the beauty of a mining business, where you become much more profitable as Bitcoin goes up. We are using 3 different locations, and I have photos as well videos. So
nice.
Last time I went out to one of my mines, one of my operations data centers. I took a number of videos for the Telegram and for our community. So we have both. We have photos and videos. As well, we've been posting on Twitter and Telegram as new miners come in. Some of it, if we get a smaller shipment, that may come into our garage. If it's a bigger shipment, it will come in on a pallet straight into the mining facility. But absolutely, there are photos, there are videos, there are little interviews with me doing little clips saying, hey, walking into the room, it's going to get loud.
How many miners are you running right now?
Yeah, so that should be an easy question. The reason it's about 150, but the reason is not an easy answer. It's a combination of brand new equipment that's efficient, that's running, and about 50 miners that are older that we put online when they are profitable, or we shut them up when they are not. Those specific miners are mining Script or Litecoin. And in the last few months, they have been offline. They have not been profitable. And as of last week, they've reached the point where they are profitable again. So we just flipped them on. That's another kind of benefit of mining that, even at the moments where the business is not extremely profitable, you can just shut things down, not pay the electric bill because there is no electricity being used, and wait for things to change. I would almost call it like opportunistic mining. While we are trying to find those altcoins that are very profitable to mine for a short period of time, and we have invested about 15 to 20% of our mining capacity towards altcoins, Bitcoin is the one that's most stable. When Bitcoin's profitability goes down a little. When it goes up also a little. So Bitcoin mining is our backbone. While we always watch the market, watch the new miners coming out. For example, we just got 2 of the brand new SIA coin miners, not very profitable at this point, but they could become, overnight if SIA coin were to moon. So we are investing, small amounts of money, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces into miners that mine other coins. But the backbone is Bitcoin.
Right. So let's give our thoughts on this one, guys. I think we all really rated Tomas as a person very highly, but let's have a dig into this. So Jordan, you were the one that came across Argo and brought it to our attention. So maybe you want to lead off.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I got in contact with them just through a random Twitter post. He was like, hey, we need an NFT artist. I hit him up, started talking to him. They got me the work, and then just kept digging in the project, looking at it. I thought, oh, this might be good for the show. And sure enough, you guys were totally like, no way, this sounds like a Ponzi. This is a sketch, cloud mining, blah, 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 right? And, it seemed like it. But after talking to him, seeing the videos, I think it's actually a decent project. I like the fact that there is a revenue behind it. You can, check out their wallets on NiceHash and see that they've got like over $1,200 in mining profits coming in a week, a Bitcoin a month, right? They're bringing in, which is really great. It was cool how he was so open to like suggestions, Stefano's experience and,
Right, Jordan's frozen, so Stefano, I'll tag you in. What do you think of Argo?
Well,
experience. He was listening to us and he was like, "Oh,
no,
we can
hang on,
see
he's
the
back.
so, I thought you guys are frozen." Fuck.
All right, keep going, mate. You're on a roll.
I don't know where I got cut off.
You're just saying you love it. It's the best.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good project, and I think it's one of those like early right now, right? They've been around since August, but after this whole bear market, mini bear, Rectober, Recvember, now we're back to Recvember again. So I think it's, a decent entry point. And if BTC is going to rip like everybody's anticipating right here, it could be some good rewards coming in.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of their sort of selling premise, isn't it? That if BTC wins, then you can make twice as much on Argo token.
Yeah.
Let's dissect that claim a wee bit. What are your thoughts on that particular statement, Stefano?
Well, to me, it's not directly correlated because like it's missing the piece of like how to actually like do something once they buy back from the market. So the way that it works right now today is that like they mine, they generate the BTC or the other tokens that they're mining. They buy from the market the token and they put that into a wallet. Now, when that happens, it stopped there at the moment because they're still needing like to figure out things and so on. So it's true in the short term type of thing. If I'm buying like 50K of something that has a volume of $700, the price of the token is obviously going to skyrocket because like the liquidity is not too high at that point. But I'm not burning or removing those tokens from the market. Neither I'm redistributing them to the users. They're just sitting somewhere. And at that point, like as soon as I decide to do something with that, it might end up on being a good and a bad thing. So it's a huge question mark on, you know, is this like a good strategy or not on what they're doing right now? Because it's missing the final piece. And going back to like the good and bad thing, like the thing is that like the good is that they have all these little pieces that are like very nice, like the mining, the DeFi, the communication with the community, like the simple fact that like if you own more than 10,000 of the tokens, you have access to the equivalent of the DAO on Discord. That's super cool. Like it means like there is transparency and like openness on feedbacks and so on, which are always great things to evolve and develop a project. The negative aspects is that all of these pieces are not connected yet, or they're connected in a super weak way. And that was exactly what I was at least mentioning during the interview for kind of like all the second part.
Okay. So we obviously had a good chat with Thomas offline as well. It's a shame we didn't record some of that, but he was extremely open to suggestions. What I like about this, you know, it is a small community at this point. Super impressed with him as a person. You know, he's got a lot of passion for Bitcoin. Obviously, I'm 4 years of educating on Bitcoin, so to follow a project centered around Bitcoin mining for me is exciting. Stefano, how do you think this project could potentially be improved?
I think that there is quite a lot that needs to be fixed on the tokenomics of the model. Like Jordan mentioned that as well, like during the interview after that we finished that, the idea of like giving rewards instead of buying back that token from the market, you could give the rewards back in wrap BTC. You know, Unitrade got our interest because like they're giving the rewards in ETH, and wrap BTC is obviously like something that it's quite cool. To be honest, I would like to, you know, just take something and increase my BTC position. That is one. The second thing is like ideally if you're like setting up a deflationary mechanisms where like you are kind of creating a structure on like burning the tokens and so on. I see a lot of projects that are like, oh, we're going to burn like 10% of the supply now. We're going to burn like 50% of the supply. And it comes like out of the blue, and they're trying to just transform that as a marketing thing when in reality it just shows that they print too much tokens and the volumes and the values are so low that they need to basically like remove something to try and save the project. Here, if you start having a mechanisms where like, you know, it's a little bit of percentage of a trade or a little bit of that funds that is being mined is being used to actually burn forever the tokens. So the more the project grows, the more tokens you're removing, therefore the price goes up even more. Doesn't have to be a burning thing. It could be like that you're giving a revenue model like the wrap BTC, but you could, for example, add a staking mechanisms as well, where like the longer that you're staking the specific token, you might get like additional bonuses where like you're getting the Argo token per se. Like I think that overall you can play so much because like you have these pieces that like ideally you have a white page with like very nice pieces together, which to my knowledge right now is pretty unique what they're doing. I'm not aware of any project that is like issuing wrap BTC to people. They don't do that neither, but for them it would be like easier than any other project to do something like that. So I don't know, like my main point on that is really like that today, this week, 2 weeks from now, I think that like it really goes into something that is 50, $100, like the learning process type of things that we discussed multiple times.
Yep.
It could potentially be good. But if they actually fix the tokenomics and fix is not the right word. If they develop that to something that, at least to me personally, becomes appealing, I can see a project like that going very far.
I agree. I started off by saying I think we all came away from talking with Thomas very impressed with him as a person. I'd love to see this succeed. Get in touch with Thomas. I think he's a very open, approachable guy. If you want to learn more, we'll obviously look at this project. We got a very kind donation from that community, so we will be really following this quite closely. And more than likely have them back on in the next couple of weeks as well, and see how they're progressing. Jordan, any other thoughts on this project?
Two.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Stefano was talking about the token burning, right? And the whole, like, the reason the SEC, classifies you as security if you're doing burning is because it's a pumping mechanism, right? To increase the token value, which is why, maybe possibly they're not doing it is because they're in the States, right? If they're based in the States, and you're burning tokens, it's a security, I don't know if they did some pre-sales. It might be a little bit a legal trap there. So there might be some issues there. And secondly, if I was, it seems like a project that would be like, yeah, like Stefano was saying, good to DCA into, every month you put $100 in, right? I don't think you could go real hard and heavy into it right off the bat, but because it's based on the profits from Bitcoin, I would probably use a similar investing strategy, just try and buy a little bit every month, right? Stake it away, right? Look for those passive income, right? Yeah, I think very similar to what Stefano was saying and what you're saying. The foundation is really good, like great business model as far as
anything that's growing the Bitcoin mining base, especially outside of China, I want to see do well. So
yeah, no doubt.
I really want to see this project succeed.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Okay, so look,
it was interesting what he was saying about a lot of the Bitcoin mining.
Yeah, we're definitely going to follow this one closely, right, guys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So trade last week's project, disappointing dump, as I said, but I think that's an interesting one as well, and I'm going to be using it this week because some of these shit coins really are shit. And just holding them is rather silly. So look, on this note, guys, I mean, obviously, just to sort of wrap up the show, can you maybe give the audience your thoughts on where the overall market is at, what's happening with BTC, and is there going to be an alt season? Have we already had it? Jordan, first up, you're our resident shitcoin slinger. When's alt season happening, or has it already happened? That was it.
Yeah. Well, I think we've got a mini bear inside a bigger bull run happening right now. BTC is going to take off, wreck the alts even more, I think. And then we'll see some big alt action here, hopefully by about New Year, maybe even before Christmas. I don't know. I'm not much for predictions. I just kind of go with the flow. One thing I wanted to mention about our projects that we didn't talk about was the AXS token that listed on Binance today.
Very
right?
true.
Which was the IEO, right? They did their listing, the lottery, distributed the tokens, and it listed at 10 cents was the IEO price. It pumped up to like 20, I think. And it was just kind of going sideways now. You get all in the Axie rooms, you get all these degen traders in there. Oh, this is a scam. Pump and dump, blah, blah, blah. Binance is such a double-edged sword these days, like it definitely brings a lot more exposure, but so many retard degens that don't even do any research, that have no idea what's going on. This guy was like, oh, it's a scam, it's a FUD. BTC or CZ is like, ripping everybody off, which I kind of agree with. But at the same time, this particular token, I don't think is like that. I'm like, oh, you can go stake
your AXS on Binance for 1,000 APY. He's like, see, it's a scam. And it's like, dude, you haven't done any research on the thing. You have no idea what it is, and you're calling it a scam. And it's just, you get these FUD traders, right? People that buy too high,
So
and then they
for
want
people
it to
that
dump.
maybe don't really know what you're on about here, just want to quickly explain what this token is and what project it's associated with.
Right. So Axie, they have a governance token now. They partnered with Binance, and they did an initial exchange offering. Right. They held their lottery. You had to hold a whole bunch of BNB, and then your ticket was, randomly selected. And if you won, then you could buy at a pre-sale price. And then after they do the lottery, 24 hours later, I think, or just really soon after the IEO happens, they list it. And, the classic Binance, list in the first minute, the huge giant green candle, everybody buys in, FOMO.
You can't buy this token on Uniswap at the moment.
There's no liquidity yet. I mean, I think some people are starting to list it, but it's not, there's not enough liquidity, I don't think yet. Maybe there is by now, it happens pretty quickly. But Stefano, what was the number of the actual supply that's released right now?
Right now, so on the initial IEO, they put like a 6% that was putting on sales. And in total, they were actually having more because it counts also like, if you're looking at CoinGecko, it also counts in like the private sales that has been done and all those things. So right now you're like in total around 18%, 15% in total. But yeah, it's super, super small. Like the real thing is going to happen when the airdrop to the players and the holders is going to happen, which, it might be a bit of a feeling on that, but like next Monday, the new season is going to start, which means that probably people are going to be able to start winning some of those tokens as well. And I assume that like either they're going to make a big boom on Monday and airdrop the first round of AXX as well, or might be like during the week or something like that. So it's pretty soon. It's one of those tokens that like I'm obviously like super passionate about Axie, but right now I'm not gonna touch that thing in a miles away because like there is a double amount of tokens that is gonna be airdropped to all the players. So
Right. So would you say 6% have gone on sale on Binance? Twice that amount is going to be airdropped.
So 6% have been unsold, but it's a total of like 15, 18 that has been like put available for like actually Binance, because there is the percentage of people that have done the pre-sale privately with Axie directly,
right,
as well as the advisors and so on. Now some of those parts are locked and so on, but a part of those tokens are actually available and so on. And basically like on that amount, basically double of that, more than double than what is currently available is going to be airdrop. So the supply, the available supply is going to double, to simplify the numbers, in a matter of like 10, 15 days.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think there's an interesting dynamic happening there. Normally, if you were to get that amount of the supply being airdropped to just like your standard token with like, barely any use case, and you would see massive dumping. Like people would get the airdrop and they'd sell instantly. But because the people that are getting the airdrop have been playing the game, for quite a long time, they will see the value in holding that token, and they're probably going to introduce a lot more use case for the governance token. Like you said, getting rewards in the game. So I doubt you're going to see like this drastic dump that you would see traditionally with a huge airdrop.
I don't know.
I mean, it will definitely be
guys,
a dump.
just very quickly on that, because obviously, we've had that uni airdrop prices is, wow, what do you say? Is it crashed? I mean, it hit nearly $8. It's down below $2 now. It's a governance token. You got to have a shit ton of them to actually be able to vote. So at the end of the day, really, there isn't any utility that I'm actually seeing. So two-part question. What is the utility of this token from Axie? If you could give us a short, sharp answer on that. And second part is the uni token just, where do you think that's going? Stefano, you want to start off?
So for AXS, you got the utility R1 is a government token like Uni, so you can vote on the DAO and so on. Second, you can stake it, so you got additional tokens based on like the timeline and so on. And three, which is the one that me personally I'm very interested in, you got a percentage of the rewards, the fees that are generating from the marketplace. And the marketplace is booming right now in volumes. So I think that personally, once I receive the airdrop, definitely going to stake them, definitely keeping them, definitely super happy with that. Like, no questions asked on that, but I'm not actually buying more anytime soon. On Uni, well, Uni is not ready yet. It's not there. But Uni, again, like as soon as they're going to like start implementing a revenue mechanism inside, which could be like a part of the fees of the liquidity providers. It could be a proper staking mechanism somehow. You know, as soon as they're gonna like expand the utility of a project like that, things are gonna be completely different. Right. We're talking about like the biggest decentralized exchange right now available.
Do you consider it a good buy then at below $2 at the moment? Is it something you would pick up more of?
Well, it depends, because like, so if I would be like in a position of being like, are they going to release something like in 30 days? Is there going to be like a utility happening in 30 days? Then I'm like, yeah, it's probably now absolutely a good buy for that. But then again, it might be a completely not good buy because maybe the mechanics that they're going to implement are going to be like so cheap and low and everything that the actual potential value of the token could actually be like 80% lower than what it is now, or 90% or 10% lower, whatever it's going to be. So I think that in general, like it comes down to
Sorry,
like...
Gordon, are we boring you?
Sorry, man. It's been a long week.
Sorry, Stefano, go on.
No worries. I think that overall it comes down to actually that specific point. Like, how do you see the company developing in the future? If you believe that the company is going to like grow more, develop new things, becoming like better and better every single time. I do. Well, then today, yesterday, and tomorrow are all three good points to actually get the token, because you want to be involved in the long run. It doesn't matter the price of the token at that point.
Okay. Not financial advice, people, but...
Here's a question, guys. How do you think Uni's going to be affected by the ETH 2.0 staking contract being opened? You know, do you think they're connected at all? That's another big news that came out today.
So here's the thing. If you're looking like at the return, the early return on ETH 2.0 on the initial contract, and that's why I think you're into something for that. So we need basically like 516,000 ETH, I think, or something similar in order to like launch the 2.0 like blocks and everything and so on.
How many?
So to actually enter that point phase 0. So if we reach that target, the annual return from staking that is going to be provided, it's around 21%.
Whoa, that's way past the expectations that I heard.
Yeah, it is. Keep in mind that like if you're actually, one, you're obliged to put in that minimum of 32 ETH. Two, because you are not in phase 1 or 1.5, you're not allowed to unstake or remove the ETH from there.
So once you, those people that hadn't figured out why we called the show 1BT and 32 ETH, that's why.
So once you put those 32 ETH, if you do that today or tomorrow, whenever, you're not going to be able to take them out anytime soon. And because the amount actually of ETH is basically like 500,000, the one that is required, that is a very, very good return on that. However, it's an algorithm, it's a reverse logarithmic model. So what it means is that like when we reach 10 millions of ETH that are being like locked into the POS in the contract, that return is going to go down to around 4.9% a year. So if I am a whale now on ETH, personally, I would actually go away from Uniswap, from liquidity providers and so on, and just like put my ETH there and make that 21% return easily. Because like this is like right now is a game for whales. Like, do you think that's why a lot of these other yield farming projects maybe are also taking a bit of a nosedive?
You know,
No, I think that there is no real correlation. The news came out today, and we called the show like that. That everybody knew that like this moment was going to happen. This is no surprise. The fact that came out today as a news is the surprise, but it's not like value of projects has been going down for 2 weeks, and it's like, oh, today they announced. Okay. I think that the projects are going down literally because like one, a lot of those are bad projects. Let's be honest on that. We are all like, after all, degen like going and trying to like be rich quick, even if we want to deny that. And two, BTC is dominating right now.
Scamonomics are high right now. Daily rug pulls.
Yeah.
People are getting sketched out, you know, even the legit projects. People are pulling out because they're like, oh, people are tethering up with the election uncertainty. Bitcoin is king.
There is a lot of fear, you know, like let's say that you are like a small person that has like a 5 or a 10 ETH portfolio. You enter into one project, you try yield farming, you lose 1 ETH. You enter into an initial liquidity offering and you lose another ETH because there is a rug flag. Then you enter in 2 projects with like 2 ETH each, and you're down 50% now. You're left with half of the capital that you start with, because this is the reality for the majority of the traders right now. What do you do?
Get more desperate.
Yeah.
And then you look for the next pump, and then it dumps even harder. The vicious cycle.
And then once you lose everything, you don't have another 10 ETH to put in, because like you lost those money at that point. So we started like seeing less and less, while we also start seeing like a tons of people that are like going and accumulating on BTC, on stable coin, and on Ethereum right now.
Yeah,
that's where the money are going right now.
On that note, if there's anybody out there in the XDAI community would like you on the show, we have made an approach. I rate that project, lost lots of money on it, but I still rate it. Would like to have a chat with you on the show. So anyone out there that could maybe help facilitate a chat with anybody key in that project, we would appreciate that. So guys, listen, thanks for your time tonight. Anyone watching, if you've got any questions, especially with regards to Argo, and last week's project trade, and definitely for Hex also, we're going to have a bit of a deeper dive into that next week. It's up hundreds of percent since we got it. Can that continue? What will happen on the big payday? Some big talking points coming up on that one. Maybe we'll have our friend from Bonk on to talk us through what's happening in that project, and any questions around Axie? Obviously lots happening there. So closing thoughts, Stefano?
We're in November.
Grow a moustache.
It's like, should I shave them all? But guys, should I shave them all?
Should you what?
Shave them all.
Yeah, you should shave everything and just like be left with like the long moustache.
It scares kids.
No, I mean, like we're in for
Rectember turned into Rectober, and now we're back to Rectember again.
Where do you get those gymnastic shirts you wear?
Uniqlo, man. It's fucking tropical weather, dude. You can't wear cotton. You got to wear the lycra or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah,
sweat like a pig here. You know it. It's no smell-o-vision here, thank God.
It's been a hot sunny day here today, beautiful day. So just on that note, people, it is Thursday evening in our part of the world, so factor that in. Obviously, when we're sort of talking any price points, etc., we do our best to get the show out the door as quickly for you as possible. Mr. Gonzo, closing thoughts? Any wonderful pieces of non-financial advice for the watchers?
No, I have a request though.
Far away.
When do we get Didi on the show?
Ah, true.
Mr. Family Coin.
Yes.
We can review his token.
Yeah. I'm about to give him a phone call actually, so I'll ask him on next week.
He'll be good fun.
Yeah. Right?
Let's get him on here.
On that note, to all you loyal viewers, and actually on that note, look, thanks a lot. Our numbers have grown significantly, so we're obviously doing something that's and entertaining.
Thank you, everybody.
We really appreciate all the comments. We'd pretty much get back to all of you. So fire away. Yeah. So look, once again, guys, thanks for both of your time, and we will be back here next week with Didi and another very interesting project to review next week in the NFT space. So yeah, thanks guys. Enjoy your Thursday evenings, and we'll see you all next week.
Peace out, homies.
Bye bye.
1 BTC and 32 ETH.